What shirt will be gracing us today? My Chemical Romance, or should I say my Impossible Romance between both Rogue and Gambit. This is my favorite shirt. I practically live in this shirt, and I should probably get another one whenever it comes back around. But we are going to be talking about our lovely Susan Storm, who was brought to life this time by Vanessa Kirby. I say it a lot, but I truly do mean it when I say I pray for times like this. So I grew up with the 2004 Fantastic Four, and I love those films. Even though adults tried to tell me when I was a kid that these films were absolutely horrible, I said bullshit. This is the coolest shit ever. Watching Reed and the Fantastic Four take on Doctor Doom was some of the absolute highlights of my childhood, and I always hoped and prayed that Spider-Man would come web slinging in, because in my mind somehow as a kid I always told myself that all these movies happened in the same universe, but Spider-Man was just probably like busy. Like, the reason why he's not here is because he probably like on the other side of Manhattan or something along those lines. However, those movies still had faults. And one of those faults was definitely the direction they told Jessica Alba to basically take the character of Sue Storm in those films. We've all heard the super infamous um, directing coach job that she got, where she was told to cry pretty. Uh, I don't know how somebody can cry pretty, but they demanded her to always approach her scenes sensually and seductively, to be gorgeous on screen at all times, which is why a lot of the time she was so stiff and she really didn't show any emotion in any way, shape, or form, because she was basically told to basically be eye candy on screen. Your job isn't to act. Your job is to be eye candy and be draped off of the shoulders of one of the two male leads. We There was an issue in the first one, and then it was once again an issue in Rise of the Silver Surfer, where she once again had to be like pretty for her character bouncing off is a really really bad choice of words, but her character emotionally connecting with the Silver Surfer. We have moved beyond those times. There's some things that I'm so happy we left in the past. Uh, the direction for Sue Storm in this film is fantastic. The character, I feel like a lot of people see the Fantastic Four and they see Reed Richards, and they instantaneously jump to the conclusion that he is the leader of the Fantastic Four. Yes, he is. But the issue with Reed is that because of his intellect, he is incapable of forming empathetic connections with people. He's constantly running numbers in his head, constantly creating new plans, constantly creating new machines for him to have to tinker with, that a lot of the times he comes off as inhuman. One of the great things about Sue in the comic books is that she's one of the few people that's able to move through the mental gymnastics and BS that Reed sometimes traps himself in, and get him to focus outside of the science, to get him to focus on her. Now, if you've ever read any of the comic books, one of the great depictions is the Council of Reeds, where our Reed from 616 ends up going and meeting the Council of Reeds for the first time. And when he meets them, he starts, he's like, oh my God, we created this. And oh my God, we created that. And we did this fantastic thing. We did that fantastic thing. We built this thing over here. And we brought peace to this planet. And we've solved food crises across the entire universe. This is great. How did you guys do all this? And all of them said the exact same thing. We abandoned our family. Like, we went out and we got the Infinity Gauntlets, and we could no longer be a part of the family because it was holding us back from our true potential. And our Reed was basically like, nobody's around. Like, we don't talk to Ben. We don't get annoyed with Johnny, Sue, the kids. No, they abandoned that because they reached that cold, logical conclusion at the end that they need to shed off the last bits of what they saw as holding them back, such as emotions and connections. Our Reed suffers from that. He doesn't connect with people really well. That's where Sue comes in. Sue is the wife. She's the anchor. She's the bridge. She connects everyone. She's able to take Reed's science and break it down and present it to the rest of the world in a way that's not off-putting in any way, shape, or form. She's the personable person of the Fantastic Four. Like, yes, Johnny is low-key the face. He's the wise guy. He's wisecracking. He's having fun. He's the heartthrob. Ben is he's more solitary. He's afraid to open up himself because he sees himself as a monster, and he hasn't reached that point emotionally with another person outside of his immediate family yet that allows him to basically, be himself again. But for Sue, she's very much the diplomat of the Fantastic Four. She's the one taking whatever it is that Reed creates and presenting it to a nation to basically help them. Or suggesting that Reed work on something to like better the lives of people living on the other side of the city, or working with the police and working with the government, which is what she does in regards to the Future Foundation, securing the future for young kids that are growing up by offering them scholarships, but at the exact same time working with other nations to bring about and foster peace and internation cooperation, which is something that the Future Foundation that she helped create was able to do in the final act of the film, with helping them to build the towers all around the world, which that right there is a Herculean feat in and of itself, getting all of these nations all around the world to pool their resources together and build these megastructures to basically help the Fantastic Four to try at least to save the world. But outside of that, just the feelings of being a mother, the emotions of being a mother that she's able to convey, her fierce protection of her family, where she is 100% willing to throw down. Like, I remember Johnny gets knocked down, Ben picks him up, and Silver Surfer flies through the wall and slams into Ben and knocks him to the side. Sue wasted no time snatching her ass off that surfboard, slamming her in the ground, and lobbing her ass into the lava. When they get on top of the ship and Surfer comes through the ship and she's just about to snatch Franklin out of Sue's belly, the second she heard that Silver Surfer was back on the ass again, kill her. Like, no hesitation, get her ass up out of here. Both roles, the duality of it, willing to work with everyone to basically save the world, but if anything threatens her family, threatens Reed, Johnny, Ben, or Franklin as a baby, she is willing to take that person out. She is willing to crash out to save the people she holds dear. But at the exact same time, when Reed is formulating a plan to basically get Galactus to come down to this specific spot, he doesn't want to say, we need to use Franklin. She realizes, because she's been with Reed for so long, she can read her man. She realizes instantaneously, oh, we have to use our child. And she's a scientist as well. She runs it in her own head, and she realizes that is the only thing that's going to get Galactus there. And she doesn't want to agree. And that's why Reed keeps, like, he's trying to reassure her that he can find another way. And then when she realizes there is no other way, he drops the facade. He says, no, there is no other way. Like, we have to use Franklin. And he's trying to get her to basically talk about it. And she doesn't want to talk about it, which is why she keeps backing up. She says, I know, I know, I know. And then she screams, I know, and she disappears. Because she realizes, I have no choice but to use my child as bait in order to stop something that's going to kill all of these people. And I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. And the final point was the speech that she gives in front of the Future Foundation building, where all of these people from around the city are coming to the building and they're screaming at the Fantastic Four. And she picks up Franklin and she walks out there. And she empathizes with all of these people and points out the fact that no mother wants to give up their child. But at the exact same time, I'm not going to abandon any of you. Like, I'm not going to sacrifice my child. Like, I'm sorry. Like, as a mother and other mothers out there, we're not going to sacrifice our kids. We are going to fiercely fight to save our children. But the same way I'm going to fiercely fight to protect my child is the exact same amount of energy I'm going to fiercely fight in order to protect each and every one of you. Reed could not do that. Ben could not do that. Johnny definitely could not do that. Sue can do that because she's able to reach people in a way that the other members of the Fantastic Four are unable to do. And of course, we had the fantastic scene where she realized that they need to like hold Galactus because he's about to leave with Franklin, and those mother instincts kick in, and she's like, "Hell to the motherfucking nah." And she's holding his ass there with the light energy. He shrugs it off the first time. He's walking, and she grabs his ass and just holds him in place. Everything that she's got. And I know a lot of people don't like that. They're like, "That's not fair. Like, how is she able to do that?" She's always been able to do crazy shit along those lines in the comic books. To be quite honest, I would say that the feat that she accomplished in Fantastic Four in 2004 with Chris Evans was way better than this one, because technically in that one she held a supernova on a fucking city street, like contained a supernova on a city street. I would say containing a supernova in Earth's atmosphere without igniting the atmosphere, and also not compression killing Johnny from being inside that small space with Doom, is a crazy feat in comparison to basically using all your energy to stop Galactus from walking through a fucking portal. Like, yeah, Galactus is probably up there supernova wise, but we're talking about restraining a physical mass, whereas Jessica Alba was able to maintain and contain not only the physical mass, but all of the energy, all of the heat that Johnny was essentially producing on that city street inside of that bubble the entire time, and then dissipate that energy so it didn't destroy the entire fucking world. That was a way crazier feat. But this one was fantastic. And then of course she died. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people who complain about this always harp on, is the fact that like oh, she did this, she was able to hold Galactus. She died. She burned through all of her life force holding that man for like 10 seconds. And if it wasn't for Silver Surfer basically deciding to come over to their side, that death would have been absolutely in vain, and he would have left with Franklin. But I love Vanessa Kirby. I love the fact that the Storm siblings were willing to crash out for their family members. I loved watching her absolutely crash out and be like the loving mother when she's with Franklin, the supportive wife when she's with Reed, the best friend when she's with Ben, the big sister who annoys the little brother when she's with Johnny, and then when anything threatens the dynamic in any way, shape, or form, she's cutthroat. Gotta get their asses up out of here. But let me know what you guys think about Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.